And today's May the 9th, 2022, and we're in the home of James and Shirley Wren, outside of the big city of Orlinda.
Okay.
And we wanted to interview you and find out a little bit about your life story, and also about your time in World War II. And before we get started, we want to tell you how much we appreciate your service.
All right. I appreciate you telling me, because
a
lot of people, it's what I want a quick thing there. You see, I was born in 23, and from the Civil War to my age, 100 years ago, is shorter than what it was from what you asked me now.
Right. Yes.
Did you realize
that?
Yes,
I understand.
So I come up under a different type of thing.
Yeah. Right.
And a quick one there that I like to tell. When I was about 7 years old, we were riding down number 1 highway from Wren's, and this big touring car from up north with the tires and the fenders.
Yeah.
He says, "Am I on the road to Miami?" And my dad, he's like, "I am now, hard of hearing." He said, "Hey boy, what did that man say?" And I said, "He said, was he on the right road to Miami?" Well, see, he still had that knot about how they burned up everything they had down there.
In Atlanta.
Because we still had proof of that.
Right.
And he hollered, guess what he hollered? "How in the hell did you get this far?" And I always thought that, now, Dad, you could have just said, "Yeah." But see, he had that old Yankee thing, see.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. We really do.
Now, you didn't film that.
No, we didn't. But I just want to tell you how much.
Because I don't want to start no damn Yankee boy.
We just want to tell you how much we appreciate you. It's an honor for us to be in your presence.
Well,
Kenny Swann is here with me, and also Barry Richards. He's behind the camera, and then also your son Robin Wren is here with us. And just wanted to tell you how much we appreciate you. We appreciate all those people, men and women that.
I realize, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Then one more comment, and then we'll get started.
Sure.
You realize, as I get older and older and older now, you realize that you begin, and you're not old enough yet, but as your health goes, and one thing and another, and then you're not going to. Right. But what I'm getting at is just a short little stay here. I want to. You will decide where I go from here. Now, everybody says, "Oh, he's going to have me," and all that. But that's, but what kind of road are you talking about going? Because the good Lord, it's only 250 miles straight up. And from then on out, you got to have help. You do see what I mean?
Right.
What you can't take with you is oxygen or whatever. So the only way you're going to get past that 250 is to die. And be able to stay up there. Have you thought about it?
Yes, sir.
You got to die to get in past that.
Right.
And then you can go any way you want.
Right.
And the only way you're going to get there is how you believe and what your soul has done and what you thought and what you've done. So anyway, keep it in mind that the good Lord has been with me since I was a little boy. Who got them on me, I'll never know, except my mother, my father, somebody got me on it, or got them. Well, anyway, I've had some tremendous help
You was
in
reared,
what I have done and seen and pulled go
right.
through.
You were reared in a Christian home. You had a good base. You had a good base.
What I'm saying, you got to have something behind you
Right.
to have done what I've done.
You have. You sure have.
Okay, all
And the
right,
good
now.
Lord's got you here for some reason or another.
That's right.
It might be just to talk to me.
That's exactly right. So if you,
All
whatever
right.
you want,
Okay,
you
I'm
can have.
going to start asking you some questions.
All right.
All right, Mr. James F. Wren. What year was you born?
1923.
And what year? I mean, what month and day?
December 1923.
Okay.
December 13th on a Friday.
On Friday. Yeah.
I was very lucky.
Yeah,
very
you
lucky.
are. You are. You sure are. Well, tell me about. You were born in what place were you born? What?
Wren, Georgia, which is in Jefferson County, which is a county below Richmond, which is Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
So it's right in the number one highway from Augusta to Savannah.
Well, that's kind of unusual for you to be born and then they changed the name of the town to Wren's, Georgia. How did that happen?
Oh, my great-grandfather had a brother that started the town because he was a big farmer and stopped the railroad, bringing in the. We didn't have fertilizer back in them days. We had guano.
Duana.
But anyway, he had them stopping, and once they got to stopping there, the town grew bigger and bigger.
Wow.
So naturally, they named it for the man that started the town, which would be my great-grandfather's brother.
Wow. Well, do you have a lot of family still there in
No,
Georgia? Okay.
His generation, then my father's generation, and then my generation, they all gone.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
I'm the last one,
Last one.
of the generations of that
Okay.
back them days.
Wow.
I'm the last one.
Well.
Robin don't know that part,
Uh-huh.
but I'm talking about the part
Yeah.
that grew up there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's great. What did your family do for a living when you were born and up to time?
Farm.
Okay.
We raised cotton. We was cotton people.
Okay.
Well, and we was right on the line where you could raise cotton, wheat, corn, and sugarcane.
Okay.
But the sugarcane, as you go north, you had to quit raising sugar cane because it takes about 11 months for it to grow. And if frost comes too early, it don't make it. So we would mostly, we could raise our own sugar, we could raise our wheat and all that. And that showed up back in those days because that was before tractor days got into going. We were farming with mules and horses and that type of stuff.
Wow. Wow. How many acres roughly did y'all farm?
Well, now, like I said, my great-grandfather probably was 4,000 or 5,000 acres.
I see.
But by the time things happen and all, and big families and all that, so most of them ended up with right around the 500 acre, about what ours was.
That's quite a few acres to be farming with mules and horses.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because I know that my oldest sister's husband, who she got married in 1908, and he had 18 guys plowing, one horse plowed, one mule. So you don't see that anymore.
No, you sure don't.
Now you got big tractors doing all of it. And I read in the encyclopedia one time where Georgia at that time was raising 80 or 85% of the peanuts. So it was called a peanut country.
Yeah.
And we raised a lot of peanuts.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they were easy to grow.
Wow. What was the wage then? What did you get paid a day or an hour?
When I was a young boy, my uncle would pay me 50 cents a day.
50 cents a day.
And that was before the day That was daylight to dark. They all thought they were going broke when they put an 8-hour day on them. I remember that when they started. The sawmills, all that. Oh, we can't make it. We can't make it 8-hour days. But they did make it.
Yeah. Wow.
So I remember that.
Well, that's great. What year did you enter into the service?
Oh, I went in and I believe it was November the 10th, 1942.
Okay.
Because, see, I was 17 the day of Pearl Harbor Day.
I see.
7.
Mm-hmm.
6 days later, I was 18.
Okay.
I'm 13.
There you go.
My dad says, "Hey, boy, you got to stay here. You got to stay here till we get this crop up. You know,
Yeah.
because you can't leave now." So I waited to November and got in.
Okay. Wow.
But
How come you choose the Navy?
Well, I was telling Robin, I said, well, I could tell him one thing, but really the truth was I had got too hot one time. And the doctor told me my fingers stayed that way for about 2 weeks and my toes. It was a sunstroke.
See.
And so he said, you better watch the sun from here on out. So I decided, well, I can do better in the Navy staying out the sun like in the Army. And that's really, but really I like water better than I did walking.
So you were on several ships, is that right? You were served on several ships?
Well, let's just talk about the two that I was in battle with.
Let's talk about those.
Because the other ones I was more or less in transit.
Okay.
Or being trained to do things that is unnecessary to get into the war, you know.
Right.
So I was on the Dorothea Dix, going over to 67 APPA. I think that tank personnel assault ships. They carried troops, fighting troops, and amphibians. And then when we come back to New York from the Sicily, we got on the Fremont, the one in there.
Okay.
Same style.
Okay.
All of us got transferred off of the Dix into the Fremont.
I see. Okay. Well, your time on the Dix now, it was
Sicily.
Sicily. Tell us a little bit about that. What was your? Well, let's first off tell us what your rank was. What's your rank in your rank as in the Navy?
Well, naturally, when you go in, you're gonna be a seaman.
Okay.
And then from seaman, you get to be a boatswain mate.
Okay.
Back then, they referred to us as coxswains.
Coxswains.
But I think now it's called boatswain mates.
Okay.
So that's what I was.
Okay. And so, what was your duty on the ship?
On the ships?
Yeah.
Well, except for watching, you know, I was on the bridge, and the first man the captain would see, he would see me, but because my watch was on the bridge. And from that, I could go. I would either watch in the crow's nest, which we had to climb the mast and go over. But anyway, because I wasn't afraid of height, and a lot of guys couldn't stand up under the height. By the way, when that old ship would go down and roll, you could look in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
And so that bothered a lot of them. It did bother me. And,
well, when you were on those ships, not only this one...
But maintained the boat, my personal boat.
Right.
Then, that's other than that and watch. We didn't do any of the chipping and all. We didn't do all painting and all. No.
Were you ever caught in any bad storms?
Yes. Sure have. Storms enough to where the bow would go down at 67 feet. Well, whatever. You can look on top of a 2-story building. But when she dive under like that old screw would boom, boom, boom,
Is that right?
and shake pretty much. Wren, get out of the crow's nest. It was time.
Oh, I bet so.
Because we had to get rid of the front gun crew. They couldn't because that's where the gun, it would come over. But she'd be diving.
Go down. Wow.
Yeah.
That would last for several hours?
Oh, yeah. However long that old front was coming in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Okay, on the Dorothy Dix, now, besides being in the crow's nest, did you would you use a troop carrier or?
Oh yeah, we carried.
Tell us a little bit about that troop carrier. What's it called?
When the Dorothy left Norfolk, we had troops on there, but they must been going to replace. They must be going to replace what Patton needed.
Yeah. Because
when we got there, when we got to North Africa, at Mels Al-Kabir, Oran, if you want to know right where it is, you can find it. That pier is 5 miles long. It's the longest pier in the world. And there were so many ships in there when we went in, instead of getting sideways, we had to back in and tie up by stern on 5 miles of pier. From mountain to mountain, and Oran was right up on top. But anyway, what happened was those soldiers we took in a bound with Patton's army, the Third Army. So when we started to go to Sicily on July the 10th, that's when we invaded. Sicily,
right?
July the 10th, 1943. And we loaded up with Patton's army, which was the Third Army. I have no idea what the army was doing, but they must have known. But we did take troops,
right?
But it wasn't the Third Army we were taking from there. But they were the Third Army when we loaded them up.
I got you.
And but anyway. We went in at 2 o'clock at night. What they do, they rendezvous. You know how they, when we unload, that ship is about 8 miles away from the beach.
I see.
Now, if you're 7 foot tall, you can see the horizon that is 15 miles. So that ship's about halfway.
I see.
You can see it on the water. At night, except at night.
How about that?
You better read a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, but what I was going to try to tell you was, we were going to land on at Gila, Sicily. And it's a little town on the coast of Sicily. And what happened was, I could tell we were getting close because I was in the first wave.
Okay.
And so I could tell from the swells. And all of a sudden, it looked like about, it looked like about 8 feet long and red hot with blaze coming out, you know. And when it did, it exploded right over Gila, Sicily. And when it did, we could see everything. And we found out later there was battle wagon fired a shell 20 miles away.
Wow.
Over the horizon.
So you didn't catch any fire yourself on that?
No.
So
anyway, as we went in, we could see it was lit up. We could see the Germans running, or not to the base. They were going away from us. And our Italians were running to us with their hands up.
Oh.
So entirely different thing.
Yeah.
Because Patton had already said, we don't need no prisoners.
Yeah.
Well, you don't shoot people coming to you with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had more help than we needed unloading. whatever we were doing.
Right.
So the next day, as we were unloading gasoline and all that, the Army was moving because they was catching up with the Germans.
Right.
The Germans didn't run very far.
Okay.
So anyway, but they knew what they were doing.
Right. Tell me a little bit about that troop carrier. Was how many men were on the troop roughly?
Well, when that short run like that, I think we had pretty close to 8,000.
Okay.
That we took from North Africa, because we just went to the island of anyway. What's that? Anyway, it's an island that pretty close.
Right. Okay.
We went round and around till we got where we could go in, and so anyway, what we done was we landed all 8,000 of them right there.
And your boat carried how many?
30, right about 31 or 2.
How many trips did you make?
On troops, we only make one trip because most of the time we can unload them all.
Okay.
And then we start unloading men and half tracks, men and jeeps and trailers. I could carry a jeep and 8 men and trailers.
Okay.
But you're talking about the walking ones. We could carry them pretty well.
Okay.
Most likely pretty well close to all of them.
Wow, that's great.
Because from then on out it was half tracks and jeeps and trailers and gasoline.
Yeah, right.
And diesel, whatever.
If I'm not mistaken, you said there's like 2 of you that drove the boat. It was 2 of you.
Well, listen, anytime you got 14 hours, one man don't tend to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in those days, see, we stayed there from 2 o'clock that night, all the rest of the next day, and into the night. Mm-hmm. And so he and I always just split the time.
Right.
He got tired of driving, I had to drive.
Okay.
And the other ones, they done whatever had to be done.
On that boat, as a driver, did you have protection?
No.
No protection at all?
No.
Okay, tell me.
You were about this much above.
Okay.
They
looked like to me you're a target.
Yeah.
Tell me, you said you told me before that one of your duties was to go down the side, to unhinge the. Tell us about that.
I always like to do that part because I felt like I don't want somebody else doing it because I know how I want to do it. Since position I had, I want to do it. Make sure it's right because they got to be accurate. When that boat hits, the Army don't want to wait and have to climb over the ramp.
Yeah.
So I would rock. That's called a gondole. It's 7.5 inches wide on that boat, with cleats on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's at night, you better watch how it.
Right.
But anyway, I could walk that all the way and unlatch the ramp.
Right.
So when it hit, the ramp would go down and they could go.
And if I'm not mistaken, you said that the soldiers, when they were in there, they had their guns and the bayonets.
Oh yeah.
So if you fell in.
No!
You'd be in trouble.
I wouldn't go back. I didn't want to fall in there. I'd rather fall outside. But I told a guy one. I said, you know what? It's funny. I said I never did fall off of that gondola, even though the boat was rocking. He said, I wonder why. I said, because I can't swim. But that was supposed to be funny. But anyway.
That's good. Oh.
Was there a machine gun on the boat? Was there a machine gun?
Oh, yeah, we had 2 machine guns. There was 2 circle pits in the back, and that's where the other guys were most of in the automatic guns.
Yeah, so those two guns, there was 2 other men that were at those guns. Plus,
Plus
2 that drove the boat.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Okay, so 4 of you kind of stayed together.
They had the guns, and I was driving and he was driving and undoing the ramp, and that's the way we operated. Yeah, I didn't know y'all.
Tell me about the different ports of call that you had while you were in that area, say off the coast of France. What were the different ports of call, different places that you were able to go to?
You said France?
Or wherever you went.
Italy.
Italy, so Italy.
Well, Sicily.
Sicily, okay.
Well, from Mel Kabir to Sicily, and when we left from Sicily, we went to make Mel Kabir. And we picked up 800 of Rommel's army that we had captured there.
I see.
And we brought the 800 all the way back to Staten Island, New York, and dropped them off there. But I had a machine gun on the bow part up front on that part, and another man had a machine gun, and we lit up 100 at a time all the way back.
I see.
And they could air out or whatever they want to do. No guns were allowed when we brought them back. I don't know how they fed them, but I know that they could come up and I could talk. They could talk to me. I've got several things off of them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
I got one German let me have a red star that he had been in fighting the Russians, and I've got it in there.
Wow. Well, off the coast of Italy, when you were delivering the troops, what was going on? Did you hear planes flying over? And I know you mentioned something about but do you hear bombs or what was the atmosphere?
It's funny you asked that because after daylight come, we found out the Germans were quite well there. Because, there was a German plane called a Stuka. And the Stuka made a scream like a siren. Are you familiar?
Yes, sir.
Well, you see, it paid off. See, where people got excited and run, they could see them. Well, as I was driving, I heard the siren go off on the plane. And when I looked, I saw it was coming at me. And he released that bomb. I whirled, and he missed me 8 feet.
Woo!
Splattered water on us.
Oh, I bet so.
Boy, I tell you what.
That's a close call.
Yeah, it is.
I'm surprised you didn't get some sort of shrapnel.
But let me tell you, undoubtedly, those bombs were set to hit something hard. When it hit that water, it done something and went back over like that.
Yeah.
And come down again and hit water. Because I know they were going off because I saw other boats that was upside down and the guys was hanging on them and all that. So by it not hitting anything, it didn't go off. And I've always said, somebody's saying about my old butt again.
Yes, sir. You're right there. So,
but that told me.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know he was coming at me personally. And but anyway, and the other one that I thought was pretty usual, there was a destroyer going up and down on the coast, about 400 yards out, and this tank come up over the sand dune, because we were on the beach unloading. At one time, we was unloading all the 5-gallon cans. That's all they ever used. You've seen them.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were taking skid loads of them up and down the beach.
Yeah.
And this German tank come over, and I saw it. I said, oh, God, boys, take a look. And as that tank come up, and we could see about a third of it, that destroyer was watching it. That that shell hit it and turned it up on the back.
Boy, good shot.
I thought that was
That's a good shot.
Okay, now let me tell you another one. It was three sets of us. We carried the steel casing that you put on the beach. It was about 8 feet long, but they were sort of knitted metal.
Mm-hmm.
And the two wings, it was what you see today is a little, what's a little plane that one person could fly?
A little Cessna.
No, it wasn't that much. It was more of a just hang on type thing.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we got him all set up and on the beach. And he took off. I thought he would go out over the ocean and get some height. But he didn't. He took off and turned into the Sicily line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't. He was close enough that we saw him, hit him.
Mm.
They wasn't that far away.
Yeah. Wow.
He didn't last, I would guess, 5 minutes.
That's sad. That's sad.
By him turning,
Yeah.
instead of turning out
Yeah.
and getting
Turned
height.
in. Wow.
Boy,
Oh, my goodness.
we could hear them.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how close they
Yeah.
were.
Was he an observation plane? Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
trying to tell the battle wagons
Oh, I see.
how
Mhm.
to shell,
Right.
because they were in there
Right.
pretty close.
Right.
But I just,
Yeah. Back to the troop carriers. I know you carried the prisoners back to the main ship. Did you carry any wounded back at
Oh, yeah,
off the coast of Sicily?
well, we always took a lot of wounded but most of the time as they moved, the army seen about them being able closer than coming back
Right.
and then going 9 miles, 8 or 9 miles. So, but we did do a lot of hauling of wounded.
Okay.
But now we had hospital ships
Okay.
at some of our invasions.
Okay.
And the hospital ships got them all, and we hauled them.
Mm-hmm.
One guy one time that I can't get him off of my mind, when I went to pick him up, he walked on his hands and 1 foot.
Mm.
And I was trying to help him, and he just said, "Don't put your damn hands on me." He done got, you know, where
Yeah.
that's the only way he could survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was unusual, but that's what he said. Don't put your hands on me.
Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Well, the troops that you were taking over to Sicily, what was their morale? Were they? I've heard that some of them said we were ready to go and we want to go back home. What was the morale going on?
Now, majority of those guys, they were in good, but then there were people. There was some that was seriously had sort of droopy faces. They wasn't that much in it. Yeah. But most of them always sound sharper the bayonets, and I'm talking about all of it.
Right.
Most of them was making sure what they had was good. Mm-hmm. I had one guy to give me, he still got it, his little Bible that he always carried, and I've had a lot of them when they were getting out. Man, I'm glad I don't have to go back with you.
Yeah.
Because he was seasick.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of them got.
A lot of them seasick.
Oh, yeah, I had flagmans. A lot of time I took radiomans and that type. And the radio ones would get sick. They couldn't even talk on the radio. They were so sick.
Exactly.
Because they were down being protected with the engine. And when you breathe diesel fuel, it don't take long to make you sick.
Yeah, right. Wow. Wow, that's great. Your time in the Pacific, roughly... Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Okay.
That,
yes, sir. Yes.
So when we come back to New York, we got rid of the troops, the German troops on Staten Island, and we left from there for a 30-day leave. And I went to New York, the main railroad station there, and I tried to buy a ticket, a round trip, and the guy wouldn't sell me a round trip because I wasn't coming back to New York. I was going to come back to. So he got the big man out there. The big man sold me a ticket. But when I got to Augusta to come back, the guy says, you can't catch that train here. You got to go to Columbia. So it wasn't a round trip, and it didn't help me any anyway. I thought, he's just getting rid of me. But anyway, so when we got back, we went to Camp Bradford, right there in Virginia. And after that, we were transferred to the Fremont, and the Fremont was a brand new ship. So we got it and went through the Panama Canal, and then to Hawaii. That started us back going into invasions.
How long did that take from New York to Hawaii? Roughly.
Well, let's see, 2 days, 3. I think about 5 to 6 days to get to Hawaii.
Wow. And so then you left Hawaii to go. Where did you go from there?
Saipan.
Okay.
We invaded Saipan with I don't remember what Marines, but anyway, we invaded Saipan with Marines, and
so you drove a troop carrier then, the landing craft.
Same always.
Okay, roughly the same kind. So,
same crew and all.
Okay, tell me again what the name of that troop carrier is, the one you drove.
LCVP.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, I think
it would take personnel all vehicles.
Okay.
Landing vehicles, personnel.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
It was referred to sometimes as a Higgins boat.
Higgins boat. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Higgins. Yeah. Okay.
So you delivered troops to Saipan.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now Saipan, it was flat. It was flat for several miles, and then they got a ridge back there. And on the ridge, they had big guns firing at us. And the guns that the Marines had didn't reach some of the areas that those big guns they had. And so later on, the Fremont left and was gone for 10 days. And as I was going to the beach, we thought we'd go to the beach, get rid of what we had, come back and get on the ship. But the ship left while we were gone. And we were left there. And they had gone someplace to pick up Army. I don't know where. But anyway, when they come back, they had Army. So when they come back, the Army had bigger guns. And when I landed that Army where we hadn't been for those 8 or 10 days, there were so many dead bodies in the water that I thought I was going to get hung up on people, clothes, things.
Right.
And I've always thought that was one of my worst thinking, was when I had to land the Army in that particular area.
Wow.
But now, the guy that I landed, he said, I told him, I said, when they shelling at night, if you don't pick out where that flash is coming from and you repeat it, and then you better move, I think, as far as I know, because I've been here in all these days, I think what you need to do is if you asked me, it would be to move after you shelled some. He said, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna do that. And I said, if you ever take that one over there that's giving us so much trouble, I said, I'd like to see it. And so one day I was down there, and he said, you want to see me cover up that? He said, I got a bulldozer, we're going to cover up the cave where that thing was. So I got to see where the gun was.
Oh, how about that?
They had tracks coming out. They pulled that track out
Yeah.
and shelled at night, put it back in, covered up. They done a darn good job keeping us going for quite a few days there.
If I'm not mistaken, they had prepared for about a year before y'all came there. They digging tunnels and putting the guns in.
Where we landed there, I could see where we had bombed out a sugar mill. The reason I brought up that, and because they did raise sugar cane there. And it's odd, about a month or two ago, I was over in Kentucky, and this guy said, he saw my hat, he said, "Was you ever Saipan?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I just come from there, and I wanted to talk to you." He said, "They still got where you can see, and they got signs up where a sugar mill was." Like, you gotta be kidding. So where I saw, they've got that as a is a remembrance.
Yeah, a tourist attraction. How about that? Isn't that something? How about that? Wow. Well, that's interesting.
All right, then they took over Tinian right there, and that's where the first atomic bomb was assembled. Was right there in Tinian. All right, then we left from there, and we went to Palu. Now, Palu had been forgot about until Guantanamo thought they were going to move to Palu. And I thought, yeah, that's a good place because it's 1,000 miles to any civilization. And it's sort of hard for somebody to make much for getaway.
Is that true?
1,000 miles.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, from Palu, then we left from there and went to the Philippines, Leyte, Philippines. I've got all the layout where what they give me to go in there and all that. But anyway, we ended up having Ledgerin go up to, it was 250 air raids in 30 days. They were shelling us, bombing us. Wow. What we do, though, we take 2 boats, or 3, sometimes 3 boats, but we could put a barrel of water and a barrel of diesel fuel, and they had it hooked up to where we could stop down at Tacloban. That's where the 2 islands come together, and then goes all way back to the ocean for about so many miles. And all those ships was in there, and they would make enough smoke that when we got to the ocean, you could look back and not see a ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we cover them up.
How about that?
So we go down there by daylight, say before daylight, because we knew they were going to bomb us at daylight.
Yeah, wow.
Now, at the meantime, every day or two, that ship would move because they were taking pictures in the daytime and all. Would they do shifting? Yeah. But anyway, and we flew a little digital thing about 75 yards or 75 feet up, so they couldn't strafe the ships as bad.
I see.
We flew all of those.
Wow.
But anyway.
So there was a lot of planes flying over while you
Oh
were
gosh,
there.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you told me I saw 4 or 5 of those.
Kamikaze planes.
This was in the Philippines.
Yeah.
We had one ship to come in there, bless his heart. There was a ship to come in there, and no doubt they was going to replenish some of the soldiers because there wasn't it was more of in other words, it wasn't set up, it was an amphibious.
Yeah.
And so they were going to divide the troops up and all that. But as they were coming in, they had them all up on the top. You thought they was on vacation or something. And the Japanese went right there. It hit right in the middle of him and threw him outside, plane and all. But he killed 90-something men on that ship that he come in. Can you imagine? They all should have been down below, but they wasn't.
Yeah. Wow. That's so. In the Philippines, I know you had an opportunity to see Sabachi. Did you?
Oh no! Wait a minute! You getting ahead?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right now. The next. When we left Leyte, after 30 days, we left there to go to Luzon.
Okay.
And as if we were going up through the islands, now that was the worst trip I ever made, because during my 4 years, because the Japanese were trying to get us. It was 3 of our ships and 3 destroyers to protect us. So it was 6 ships, and we were going narrowly. We could see land. We could sometimes pretty close to, on both sides, and they were just jumping in on us all the time. And I remember the worst thing that I ever done or saw was I was standing on one position, and I saw the plane. He was flying low. So he just come on and flying low. And as far as I could see, I knew it was, but I figured, well, he's going to go right into us. But he didn't. As he got close enough, he went as high, as deep as he could go. He went right over the Fremont. Why, I don't know. But when he did, the Fremont started hitting him.
Yeah.
And when he did, he hit the ship next to us. He went right into the side.
Wow.
He killed 7 of those boys.
Oh, my.
And they were the boat crews. They were doing the same thing I was doing.
Right.
Staying out of the way. And so I just happened to see him and seen that. But I did not see him when he hit the ship.
I see.
Because I was on the other side.
Right.
He hit.
Wow.
But now I did see it the next, I believe they waited 2 days or 3.
Yeah.
And the saddest time,
Well, that's tough.
they put them all to sea. The next, it set them off.
Buried at sea.
And that's a sad time.
Yeah. Most definitely.
That's a sad time.
Yeah, most definitely. And then where did you go from there?
We left from there and went to back to Guam and picked up Marines and went to Iwo Jima, getting ready for another one.
Okay.
And my boat landed. What we landed was right at the little airport, just about maybe 200 yards up above Sabachi.
I see.
And but anyway, the 3rd day we were there, see, we had an admiral on the ship, and the admiral got, I don't know why he picked, well, I do know too, the captain knew me from watch and other things that at times. But anyway, the admiral got out my boat and Bellard's boat. We called it our boat.
Yeah.
But anyway, he got our boat to take him around the island. And I said to the admiral, as we got past our lines, we were back where we could see the Japanese lines.
Yeah.
I said, Admiral, why did you want to pick a boat like this to go around the island when it's just half gone? And he said, I want to see it like you saying that, boy.
Wow. That's
So-
something.
So anyway, we were looking, and he said, "Now, you think we out where 50s can't hit us?" And I said, "I don't believe 50s can hit us, but I said they got some stuff over there can hit us."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, if we stay out of the 50s, we'll probably be all right." So anyway, we stayed out of the 50s. Because 30s anymore, ain't much to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them 30s ain't much to it, but in the 50s are.
Wow.
But anyway, I said, I can see Japanese running up and down in the gullies. And he said, "What part of the world are you from?" And I said, "Georgia." He said, "They call those ravines, not gullies."
That's good. That's good. That's good.
And I said, "Look like to me they are confined to some of the gun spots." So he and I was talking about it, and he said, "Well, they probably got them to where they can't get away,
Yeah.
or so they're firing."
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know where they were. I couldn't see good enough to tell that they were tired of.
Yeah.
But they wasn't leaving the guns.
Oh my.
They were pretty close.
How long were you there at Iwo Jima? I mean,
A couple of weeks.
okay. And you took troops in, did supplies in?
Yeah, right.
And
yeah,
did-
yeah.
and did-
With whatever they
Whatever
was.
they-
Yeah,
Did you take wounded back?
yeah. We
Okay.
wandered out to the hospital ship,
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
and most of the time, that kind of stuff is run about from different ships and all. But anyway, that's about all we done there. But I saw the first B-29 go down and go into that little airport where we had landed.
Okay.
And,
is that the South Field? I think you're calling
No, it's I've got
Okay,
the
yeah,
pictures in now. But anyway, it come in and it was shot up pretty bad. It was the number one. And he said I was coming in, but didn't know I was going to be able to get off or not. But anyway, he worked on something, and he threw away everything he could from inside,
Yeah, right.
get it as light
Got
as they
all
could.
the weight off of it.
And they worked it back up as far back as they could. And boy, we watched him. If he had to close his wheels up, he'd have hit old Sawbachi. But I didn't know how in the world that boy was going to make that ship
Wow.
get out
That's
there.
why Iwo
But he
Jima was so
did.
important, because
Yeah.
it was a landing spot for
Right.
damaged planes.
Right, right. A lot of damaged planes there. They either refueled there or else repaired
Yeah,
the planes.
that's what they wanted. But now, after we left, we was about us and one destroyer left. All the rest of them were staying because the admiral had something. So we took one destroyer and we were going, and about 7 or 8 hours out, the Captain Collins come out. He said, "Take a look." See, my watch was right there on the thing. But anyway, he come out and he said, "Look back and see if you can see a B-29 coming in." So when I looked back, I could see the B-29, and the outside motors were just clicking, and the N2 was dead.
Oh boy.
And he said, she said he's coming down, and we told him we'd pick him up. So when we was watching that thing, he landed right side of BB. It'd be just like landing right out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was about maybe 25, 30 yards away from us.
Ooh.
He was pretty close. He wanted to be close.
Yeah.
So we had a boat ready to land. So we went dead still in that plane, and right behind the wings is where the belly part hit.
Mm-hmm.
The wings didn't hit but the belly part hit, and that jerked it off.
I see.
And the nose laying out, and the back end, they started coming out.
Yeah.
And they was about, I think we got 5 or 6 of them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the 2 and the 4, pilot and co-pilot pilot, did not get out.
Is that right? Mm.
And as they went down, so we made a circle, thought we'd pull them up. They would be drowning, but we don't get them out.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Captain Collins said, this ship, it takes the longest time for it to stop. It just keeps on moving.
Yeah.
And we never could get hooked up.
Oh.
So anyway, after the 3rd time, he said, I've got too many men involved to be laying out in the ocean trying to save 2 dead men.
Yeah.
So he called and let them shoot that plane all so it would go on down. They can't leave it up above.
Oh.
And that cruiser or destroyer done that, and we were going back to Guam, so we got to Guam later on that night.
I see. So left Iwo Jima and then went to Guam.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then we left Guam. Well, when we left Iwo Jima, we were grouped on the fantail, and I still remember what what the officer said. He said, you guys have been out here almost 3 years now, and you got mean as hell, and said, we're going to take you back to the United States and let you get back right. And I thought that was pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah, that is pretty good.
So
wow.
Anyway, so we got to Guam, and then from Guam we come on back to Hawaii. Then from Hawaii we went back to San Francisco.
Okay.
And then while we was at San Francisco, is when they dropped the bomb.
Okay, that's good.
And so anyway, I got to celebrate the war's end in San Francisco.
That's great. That's good.
That was some celebration.
Oh, I bet so.
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of help.
Oh, gosh.
You had a lot of help celebrating, I bet.
Oh, yeah. and they were doing things that well, anyway.
That's good.
Oh,
that's great.
yeah,
That's great.
It's kind of been my experience as a child growing up to sit and listen to gentlemen like you that had served and being in awe of people like you and what you went through and things. And like I say, we thank you for that. It seemed to me that generation that went to war and came home with a purpose to get on to living and to make something of this country and to get on about the business of life. And you got to celebrate life where so many didn't. Is that correct in the fact that once the war was over,
that's right,
you were ready to get home and get on with living?
That's right. All right, now what you want would be, I don't mind telling you because it's very important. Now, the state of Georgia, you were grown at 18, and the state of Georgia owned 11 years of school in my day. Did you know that?
No, sir.
So I got to vote for Roosevelt, and the rest of my crew couldn't vote because they wasn't from Georgia. And they thought it was odd that I could vote and they couldn't. But anyway, so now, I was in a hurry to get in the Navy, and I had delayed some of my school. So I liked about anywhere from 4 to 6 months of having enough schooling to graduate. So when the war was over, I went back to farming with my dad. That would be part of 46 and 47. So my brother had met a guy in the service. My younger brother was in the Navy, and he and this guy was working in Nashville, putting down tile for Montgomery Ward. So he said, he called up, he said, hey, James, he said, come on up here, I'm going to school. And I'd like for you to go to school the same place. It's called Andrew Jackson Business University. You can get to be an accountant or you can get to be a lawyer. And I said, okay, I believe I will. So I come to Nashville, and he and I went to school. And now, when we got ready to graduate, Dr. Short said, hey, you boys can't graduate. You didn't graduate from high school. And I said, well, where can we get that done? He said, out at Vanderbilt. And I said, well, get us lined up. We'll go out to Vanderbilt and get to high school. Mm-hmm. So we went to Vanderbilt, and they give us what we had to have to go. Mm-hmm. So I got a diploma from Wren's High School, exactly like they did when they graduated, mm-hmm. by doing what they wanted. So that's how I got my graduation done. And so then I graduated from there. And from there, one of the teachers at school was a CPA that taught us. And when I went to the publishing house, the Methodist Publishing House, to get my job, John said, you come down, you want to go to work with me? I said, yeah. See, he was a CPA and the treasurer of Methodist Publishing House. And he's the man that had his name on the checks. But anyway, I was December older than he was, March, about 3 months older than he was. But anyway, we always were very good friends. And I worked for him all those years. Yeah. And done well.
That's good.
Done well.
That's great.
I thought, which was... But you know what 17th hits Bell Court?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, those 3 buildings that we were in was right there.
Okay.
It was, some of them were 3 stories and all, but 100 of us or more was in there. All those were Navy and Marines and Army guys.
Right.
That's about all. He done a good job. He done a good job with graduating graduating lawyers and accountants. Now they also had women. That's where I met Shirley.
Good.
She could got to be a stenographer or whatever, or typist or whatever. Mm-hmm. She was there and I was there, and that's where we met.
Well, that's great. That's good.
That's how we got together.
That's good.
From 2 different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
She was from the mountains and I was from the flatland.
All right. Did pretty well together.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's good.
One more question.
Now what was that answer pretty well what
yes,
you was
that's
at?
exactly what I was wanting to understand.
$100 a month.
Really?
And we were living on $100 a month. And Shirley went to work first, and she went to work for a banana, where they sprayed bananas in the afternoon. They could get them yellow and put them in the stores the next day. It was down on 4th Avenue, someplace there. But anyway, then she went to work for the bus company. And the man that owned the bus company then was from Chattanooga, Lookout Mountain. But anyway, and then it transferred and got to be somebody else's and all that. But she went back down there, and after she had Robin and Gail, 12 years, she went back to school and refreshed, and she got in accounting for the city, health department, and she was manager of the health department for 28 years.
Wow, that's good.
Right here in Nashville.
That's good.
She done good. She done good.
Another question I had was both Germany and Japan were very different in tactics at how they fought.
Yes.
And very brutal, but especially the Japanese were brutal. Both of them were militaristic societies, and neither of them believed that an American society of free men could face war successfully. And they were banking on the fact that a citizen soldier couldn't wade into machine gun fire. And what I understand is that probably the biggest fear of an American soldier was that he would let his buddy down, that he would fail at the moment of combat and let his teammates down. Did you find that to be true? That was what?
Well, I never talked to Japanese, but when I was guarding those on that ship coming back, Rommel's, Rommel had the best army that Hitler had. He did have the best. There was no big fat ones and big tall ones and big short ones. They were all about, and they looked good. They were very nice. And they wore steel bottom shoes with canvas tops. That's how they were dressed. And they had a hard time on the ship a lot of times. But anyway, they would talk to me. It would be about 8. And he said, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Yeah, I can hear you. All right, go ahead." He said, "This ship won't ever make it back." I said, "Well, keep your life jacket on. Maybe your ass can swim some." And he said, "We dreaded when y'all were coming. We knew when Patton come over that we was going to have a hard time because we had fought the English for quite a while, and they wasn't doing too good, and we wasn't doing too good. We wasn't setting the world on fire." But he said, "We knew when Patton come that your army would do away with us. We knew it." I said, "How?" He said, "Well, you got the meanest damn bunch of people in the army that the world's ever known." And I said, "Man, why would you talk like that?" He said, "Well, when you shoot a plane down or blow up a tank, and you would think you had a football game, what in the heck do you think I think of you?" Yeah, he had a point now.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah.
So when we shot planes down, we got that going. So you see, he was pretty well right on us. So sometimes we may be sort of that.
Right.
You
I
know?
understand.
Right.
I understand.
Oh, you following me?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely I am.
So I don't know.
Well,
It's hard to make it out.
You did well.
Yes.
And we're a better world for your service.
That's
You
right.
know, and we could eat beans sitting on a stump with 5 dead ones laying out there where we looking at.
That's-
One last
But
thing.
going back to the old boy that said, "You got mean." We got mean. It's just like anything else. You keep twisting a man's arm, and he will get mean.
Yes.
So
You
anyway,
had to. You had to get mean.
yeah,
You had to.
If necessary.
yeah.
Let me ask you one last question, and I'll turn it back over to Dan. The best thing in my life right now is my grandchildren. They're 2 generations removed from you.
Yeah,
Maybe 3 generations.
right, right.
What would you tell this future generation to protect, to treasure, to take care of, that you fought so hard for, and you're going to pass it off to us and to them? What would you want them to do with it?
Well, let me tell you what. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but education and communication has ruined the country. It ruined the world. I know we want to keep going, but sometimes it's like I used to put people on payroll for 36 years. I put people on payroll, and every year, hey, we're going to get a raise. Well, 36 years, we're going to get a raise. How many raises in 36 years it's going to take to do us like we're doing right now? Can you follow that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, I would think my advice would be we need to slow down because we're not going to Mars. You take it from me, we're not going to Mars. Now, after we die, we're going to Mars
Yes.
because the Lord fixed us. And we can go from Mars to Jupiter, and the way we go is by thought. I think I want to be on Jupiter, and all of a sudden I'm there. So you better know what you're thinking. Don't you be traveling a lot. But anyway, it's free too. But all I'm saying is, quit riding so hard on how much we need, and everybody's wanting a little bit more, and a little bit more is coming from the other man because the government has not got a dime, and there's no way they can ever pay all of 30 trillion. No way they can pay that. And that's what they got to worry about. How do we get over 30 trillion that we went in the hole trying to mind the world of what they're doing to better it. We thought we was bettering it. But I don't know if we bettered it or not, because I don't know where every time you see that press printing that money, he's making what I've got less. Every day, he's making less. He's making yours less because he's got nothing backing it up. So I don't know, slow it all down and quit trying to. Eating 3 meals a day enough?
Be satisfied.
That's right. Be satisfied.
Be satisfied.
Right. That's right.
Eat 3 meals a day enough?
That-
And a nice warm bed? Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
When you were on these ships, you were with Army and you were with Marines.
Right.
Which one did you get along with the best? Which ones did you have trouble with any of the other ones or any of them?
I always noticed that the Marines were more disciplined because the Army, a lot of times, the ships traveling 18 to 20, 30 knots, and he will sit, Army man will sit on a chain. And I thought, a sailor won't sit on the chain, and a Marine won't sit on the chain. Why would a dumb Army guy sit on the chain? And I used to walk by, if you fall over, we're not slowing down.
That's good. Oh.
So, but anyway, I would think the Marines were much more, I didn't say stronger,
Yeah.
more dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I saw the soldiers take what the Marines didn't take
Yeah.
in Saipan
Yeah.
because they had bigger stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay.
of course, the Marines were part of the Navy at that
Right.
time.
Right. That's true.
Now, that's not
Different
that's
thing.
different story now.
That's true.
They're
That's
on
true.
their own now, and so anyway.
Yeah. What year or what time? What's the date that you got discharged?
January the 10th, 1946.
Okay, that's good. And then you got into a little bit there that of course, you went back to Georgia for a little while.
Well, I was teaching boys how to drive boats
Okay.
in Coronado Island, San Diego, and I was running the Liberty boat over to old San Diego at night,
I see.
back and forth. But anyway, that's
Yeah, and then you went to school,
Yeah.
and then you met Shirley, and y'all got married when?
1948.
Okay.
74. Come June the 4th, it'll be 74 years.
74 years, and never had a fight.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Oh,
we've had some arguments. Never had no fights.
oh, okay.
Who won the argument? Just so we know.
Yeah. So sometimes you had a difference of opinion.
Yes.
And then it went into a conversation.
Yeah, but don't go to bed with a difference.
Right.
Get it over with before you go to bed that
Okay.
night.
Tell us the names of your children.
Robin hit the headlines.
Okay.
We lived on Kipling Drive, and the lady across the street was Shirley's best friend.
Oh.
And her last name was Martin, Martin. And so anyway, Shirley and I, before, we didn't know what was going to get, boy or girl. But we were going to name it Robin, girl or boy. And Imogene come across and she said, I got a middle name I think you ought to give the baby. What's that? She said Martin. That's how we ended up
How
with
about
it.
that?
That's
So,
three words.
and that was her best friend.
You got
So
kidded about
Robin,
that,
Martin, Wren. And so when we signed in out at the hospital, I don't know who done it, but anyway, the headlines on the paper, I used to have that someplace.
Still do.
Yeah, but anyway, it said, the Wrens have feathered their nest. Guess what they named the baby? Robin Martin. I'll take you everybody got the call. They
good.
thought that was
That
good.
is good.
Anyway,
good.
I thought it was.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, Gail, she is what you call a professional student.
I see.
When she was little, she would teach Robin, She wanted to be a teacher.
Yes.
So anyway, she started the school at over here at Nashville, and then she ended up at Murfreesboro, and graduated, and so she was speech and hearing. She was
Okay.
going to get into that. Well, speech and hearing, she come in, she said, Dad, I want to tell you something. She said, I'm spending more time filling out papers than I am teaching. And I said, well, I don't know how to tell you how to get out of that. But anyway, she started and she got a master's degree. So when she got the master's degree, she was on Murfreesboro Road at Trevecca.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
And Trevecca said, Shirley, why don't you get your doctor's degree and just get it over with?
Yeah.
So she did. So she is a doctor, vocal,
I
educational
see.
doctor, whatever you call it,
Gotcha.
anyway. So she said to tell you that she was a principal of
Smyrna Elementary.
elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was the principal of elementary school.
Okay.
She loved it,
Well, wonderful.
and
That's
she
great.
she done a good job.
Well, Mr. Wren, you are 98 years old, and we would like to ask you if you wouldn't mind inviting us to your birthday party when you turn 99 and when you turn 100. Would you mind that?
No,
We would love to be there.
I bought.
And
Yeah.
what we need to do is we're going to probably carry a fire extinguisher Because if you light up 99 candles or 100, it's all burn down something.
Did the 8 right there.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
Okay, well, we don't want to. Well, that's
but now, listen, Robin says dead. I said, no, I'm 99 now. I'm just learning how to swim.
Well, that's great. Now, let me ask you one more question.
Got it?
Got it. Yes, sir.
I want to ask you one more question. What you going to plant in your garden?
You didn't go out there to see it?
Yeah, I did. I want you to tell the camera what you planted in your garden. You're still on camera.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got onions that you can see from end to end, and I got squash that's already done got 3 leaves instead of 2. They're doing good, and my tomatoes are doing good. I still got the wind protectors still over them because that rocks them too much. And let's see, what else? Oh, green beans.
Okay.
I've already got green beans up.
Wow.
So anyway,
Good.
I'm getting started.
You just get started. That's good.
But if it rains, I'm gonna plant the rest.
Okay.
But I generally plant butter beans and peas
Good.
and all that before it's over with.
That's good. That's good. You don't ever plant anything that they have down in South Georgia like collard greens, do you?
I used to, but I got where.
Well, you
I
plant
didn't-
mustard now.
Yeah.
Plant mustard.
I
now.
planted mustard,
Okay.
but collard greens. But we didn't do collard greens like they do up here. They cut them when they're like that. They cut them off.
Yeah.
We just put 6, 8 out and crop off the bottoms
I see.
and have a mess.
Yeah.
Crop off the bottoms, have a mess. Crop off. And them colors would get that high, and you'd do it on 6.
That's pretty good. Well, that's great. Well,
Don't eat anything that the flies run up and down the screen door to get in. And, because they smell.
yeah. Oh my goodness, that's good.
But he said, I don't eat when the flies are trying to get in.
Oh goodness.
So he didn't eat them.
Wow.
To see that live, I guarantee you it would be about as important a thing that you ever see with me coming through the 20s and the 30s
I bet.
and the 40s.
I bet.
My mother was the oldest of 10.
Huh?
My mother is 88. She was the oldest of 10. Much the same circumstances.
Because my dad said one time, he said, we were grab assing. Because what we did to start back, we had a well that the open well, and the bees were raising, and when they would come out, they kept the water muddy.
Yeah.
So he said, we're going to dig another well. So anyway, this guy come by one day, and he said that he was a well digger. And Dad said, I'm going to find out how good a well digger you are. Is he feminist?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
That's okay. Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it sure is.
Okay.
It sure is.
That's good.
So he said, I'm going to see how good a well digger you are. James, go back there and get that long handle shovel. And so he said, how big a hole you going to dig? And he went around like that. And Dad said, all right, saw that handle off right there. So I sawed the handle off the shovel. And he walked out there and he said, I want a well dug right there. And the man said, okay. So he started digging. Well, as he got down to here, he said, I've got to have some concrete now to keep it in there. So he did. So anyway, we just kept going down. And when he got 40 feet, he hit water.
Oh.
Well, he hit water,
Sure.
moisture.
Sure.
So then we got the terracotta pipe,
Uh-huh.
the big you know what I mean
Yes,
by
sir.
terracotta.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than concrete, really.
sir.
You know, it's slated. So anyway, he put down there, and he kept going till he got the water. So anyway, on the way down though, there was a hard place, so they dug put a hole in it,
Yeah.
and he blowed it. And Dad said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be the biggest mess you ever saw." Through the ice, see, we didn't have electricity.
Yes, sir.
So the ice truck come by, and he said, "Can we use your battery? Let's be." So we had it wired up to where, so that old man said, "All right." So it did touch the battery, and some of that rock or whatever went out the top.
Is that right?
And we had to wait a couple of days for the air to clear. But anyway, it did not fall in.
Oh my.
No, it
How
didn't
about
fall
that?
in. No, sir. But anyway, that's how we got that well.
How far down did you end up going?
40,
Total
about
40.
41 up 2 feet.
Ooh-wee, wow. That.
But anyway, he cemented it all the way. It's still being used today.
How about that?
That was back in the 30s.
Well, that's great. One thing you told me about Wren, Georgia, is you said that I asked about the name of the town, and you said that there are a lot of families there with
Three families.
with bird names.
Flemings, Wrens, and Stones were the three major families that owned the land mostly around.
I see. Well,
Okay.
that's interesting.
And they lived in those great big old houses with them big things like that.
Uh-huh.
They still there.
How about that?
And somebody else owns them now.
Yeah.
That's the thing you got to
Yeah.
face. When you get ready to go, you ain't taking it with you.
Well, that's great. Well, Mr. Wren, we sure appreciate your
Yes, sir.
time. Thank you so much.
But getting back, one more thing.
Okay, yes, sir.
The reason I was telling that, we had to haul water while we was digging the well.
Okay.
So we had a 2-horse wagon, and you familiar with them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we had 3 barrels of water on it. Done got it out of the Wren branch
Huh?
to water what we had.
Yeah.
And my brother, I jerked it. We had a board across the body. I jerked it out from him, and he didn't fall over, but he jerked it out from me, and I fell over. And the wagon went over my head.
Oh, my. Oh, my goodness.
And I bled through my ear for about 3 days.
Wow.
That would be 1935, about 1935.
Wow. My goodness.
So it affected my hearing like reverse. I could hear too much.
I see.
It undoubtedly
Yeah.
opened up that
Yeah.
whatever,
Understand.
and I could hear too much, and it aggravated me.
Yeah.
So I went to a doctor after the Navy and all that.
Yeah.
I went to a doctor right down here in Nashville. And I was surprised I never did go back to him, or I didn't need to go back. But anyway, when well, I didn't even know they had him. It went all the way around. Anyway, he was back then. I saw him, I said, I wonder what he's found. So he said, Mr. Wren, you don't mind getting up out of that chair and coming back here? He had up on his right. And he said, your teeth, which I just had one done, said your teeth are real deep in your jawbones. He said, boy, you'll have a hard time getting up on. Found out that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said, now the other thing is really got me buffaloed. Your skull's got a crack all the way around it. And I said, yeah, I can tell you why. I said, a wagon run over my head back in the 30s. He said, well, it's cracked all the way around. Wow. And I said, well, 1 more pound and I wouldn't be here. He said, boy, he jumped. I wouldn't agree with that a damn minute. And I thought, damn, what have I said? And he said, You got angels, boy. And those angels could hold up any kind of damn pound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he let me know.
Yeah.
And I never did know that guy.
Yeah. How about that?
I'd
No,
say after
but-
your war experiences, he was right.
Yeah, you're right.
He
You
was
had,
right.
you
All right.
had,
So you see what I'm talking about?
yes, sir. You had angels. You still got angels.
Everybody's got them.
Yeah, you've got.
They don't know how to get to them.
Yeah.
But I've seen them. I mean, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, Mr. Wren,
Some people don't want to get
yeah,
it.
I understand. If you've got an interesting life, you've done a lot of things, been a lot of places. If we made a Hollywood movie of your life, who would you want to play you?
I don't know of anybody right now that I read
all the good ones are gone, like John Wayne and right.
Oh man!
Better take Clint Eastwood.
Who would you want to play your wife?
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
We went to Luzon.
Uh-huh.
The Fremont had the banks,
Uh-huh.
all the money.
Oh,
The Japanese had those.
how about
That's
that?
Japanese money.
How about that?
And we put this kind of money in. See, we put pesos in.
Yeah, peso. Okay. How about that?
Yeah, Japanese.
Japanese.
No, that's Japanese.
Yeah.
But we put somewhere here I got this is all Japanese money.
Mhm.
We took all this out. Hold on.
Okay. Yes, sir. Wow. Well, you took out.
But that's what we put back in there.
Oh, the Philippines,
Yeah,
1 peso.
well,
yeah.
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 Well, see, what they did, they took all the money out and put that money in.
Uh-huh.
So when we went, there's that.
There's that. Yeah, that red. This is the red star
Yeah.
that you got off one of the German
That's-
soldiers.
And I got this off that
Okay.
a German soldier.
Okay. All right.
And he had.
Got
All
here,
right, now,
too.
right here's my boat. That's a Welland David right there. And so the first boat that went down would be me, because we going to get the mail. Any port we went in, we were going to get the mail.
Let's see.
So because I come down and the gangplank went down, and all I had to do is come right here and pick up the
Let's see.
mailman.
How about that?
And the mailman knew where to go.
How about that?
I remember we come into Guam one late one afternoon, and I said, you know, those lights is real. I believe I'll just go right. So I was on the runway. I didn't realize I was on the runway. And then one of the seaplanes,
Oh.
PPY,
Oh yeah.
PPM,
Yeah.
one of them come down, and he saw me, and he had to go
Come
back,
back
up.
up.
I bet he's. So anyway, I got out the lights.
Wow.
But
Wow.
anyway.
That's great. And then these are your medals up here that you
All right,
received.
now this is Sicily. That one right there, the only one, Sicily.
Uh-huh. Wow.
That's Patton.
Yeah, Third Army.
All right, now these two right here is the Philippines. I got recommended twice right there.
And that's, of course, a picture of you up there in the very center, very
Yeah.
top center.
And this is what they give you when you leave. Is we call it a ruptured duck.
Oh, yeah.
And this is my identification
I
and
see.
all that.
Yeah, that's right. That's good.
And here's my $10 shirt.
Oh, oh that's good. That's great. Wow. Well, you've been recognized by Lamar Alexander in
Oh, Lamar.
2018.
Lamar, he was 3 years old when I made that invasion.
Is that right? Wow. Wow, that's great.
So he didn't know too much about it, did he?
Right.
Oh,
Well, that's
well, anyway.
great. That is great.
That's good enough, though.
Yeah,
That's good,
that
man.
is great.
Where was that taken?
That's when I was dressed up.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Indianapolis, Indiana. when we come back to New York, when we come back to Norfolk before we pick this ship up, they give us 72 hours. And a friend of mine, in fact, we went to see his girlfriend.
Oh, I see.
And that was the girl that I went to see.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Up in Indianapolis.
Yes. Okay.
And so that's how college got to know me.
Oh,
I was the first man on what they call Captain's Mast.
I see.
We were late. And so I never will forget, he asked me, if I'd have given you 4 days, would you go to California? And he and I, we used to laugh about that. So that's the reason why I got to carry because I was with.
I see.
He didn't mind talking to me.
Oh,
A lot of the guys he didn't like to talk
yeah.
to
Right.
because I think they would overdo.
Yeah. Right.
But
Right.
anyway, by the way, turn around and get that because
Going over there, you point that out.
Yeah. Go over there, Mr.
when they open up the restaurant, the what do you call it? What's that restaurant, Robin?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. I'm getting losing my mind. But anyway, they opened up the Olive Garden over in
Rivergate.
Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro.
no, it was over yonder at out. But anyway, when they opened it up,
Mm-hmm.
I told a story about that little boy, and the guy said, I said I wanted to buy it, and I said I'm the only man gonna know what GELA is,
Yeah.
and I was, but anyway, 2 months later they shipped that thing to me.
How about that? That's good. That's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah.
When you were on the ship, how much information did you get about the war? What was going on, like in the European theater,
Yeah.
as well as in what was going
I don't
on in the
know.
Philippines?
I never did read too much of it.
Yeah, yeah,
But make up your mind what they were doing.
yeah.
You got a bunch of it there.
Okay, but I didn't know if they told you very much as
Oh,
far
no,
as
no.
newsreels.
We
or
didn't have radios.
they didn't tell you very
No,
much what
no,
was going
no,
on.
No,
Okay,
no,
as far as
no. If you wanted to know, you had to read that.
I see,
And
I see.
we didn't have no lights and one thing and another. I didn't.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you kind
It's just a young guy, 18 years
yeah, well,
old. They put it out, and I kept some of them. But you'll have to read, see how much.
I will.
There was a guy out in the country
Mm-hmm.
come by, and he said, "I'd like to make an heirloom of you
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago if you let me have that picture." Ain't that a beauty?
Oh, it is. It's great. Yeah. Beautiful frame. Look at that. Yeah.
Now
Sure
look at the price on the back.
Too much kind of old price. $17.99.
Can you believe that? Haven't the world changed?
Isn't it though? It sure has.
Ain't the world?
It sure
Can you
has.
believe the world's
It
changed?
sure has. That's a
Now,
great one.
This right here is what Robin in Virginia. I didn't know they could do it, but I wanted the back more than the front.
Yeah. Look at that. Now tell us what's on the back there.
That's my cruise.
No, that's all the men
That's
on
all the cruise.
Okay.
It's 200 of us boys.
I see.
All of them are gone now. All these old boys are gone. As far as I know,
Uh-huh.
we've got one guy that's still there.
Uh-huh. Wow. That's great.
But this is from crossing the equator.
Okay.
I was seaman first class.
Okay.
That's the equator.
So you did that in 1944, if
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That's great.
They cut the seal out of the church
Uh-huh.
ship seal.
Okay. Well, that's good.
There's another thing. There was a bicentennial, remember?
Uh-huh.
That's the North Carolina bicentennial.
I see.
And we printed it at the publishing house.
Okay.
I went out, got it off the press, took it in my office so nobody wouldn't bend it.
Yeah.
Then I had it done.
That's nice.
That's original.
That's nice.
Nobody's ever touched that but me.
How about that? That's nice. That's pretty.
That's
a
good.
nice print. It is a nice print. It sure is. It sure is. Wow. Well, that is great.
But anyway,